Internal indicators. What are internal indicators? Internal indicators are the indicators which shows different colors in oxidized form and reduced form. It shows different colors in both oxidized form and reduced form. Let us consider an example. Indicator which is in oxidized form will gain one electron and resulting in the formation of indicator in reduced form in different color. Now one more indicator in reduced form will get converted into indicator in oxidized form plus one electron. Internal indicators are the indicators in which it shows different color in oxidized form and reduced form. Example, first one is nitroferroin. This nitroferroin will show blue color to red color. Blue color in oxidized form and red color in reduced form. Second example is ferroin. This ferroin is same. It shows blue color in oxidized form and red color in reduced form. The third one is N-phenyl anthranilic acid. N-phenyl anthranilic acid, it shows red color to colorless. And fourth example is methyl iodide. It shows violet color to colorless. Now majority of these internal indicators in reduced form will shows colorless. This is internal indicators. Now coming to the self indicators. This self indicator, what are self indicators? Self indicators are the indicators in which the analyte will itself act like indicator. Analyte itself will act like an indicator. Examples, KMnO4 and iodine. These are the self indicators in which analyte itself will act as an indicator. Now third one is external indicators. External indicators are based on special vision with the titrated substance, which means based on a special vision with the titrated substance. Example, potassium ferrocyanate. Potassium ferrocyanate is example for this. Let us discuss the mechanism of these external indicators. Let us consider two vessels in which it is filled by the analyte, and we will add an indicator, that is K3FeCN6. Potassium ferrocyanate indicator is added into this both the vessels. Now in this first vessel we have Fe+2 ions. Now from this vessel, whenever the liquid is poured into this vessel, this Fe+2 ions will get converted into Fe+3 ions. After converting these Fe+2 ions into Fe+3 ions, whenever one drop of this Fe+3 ion liquid is poured into this first vessel, this is first and it is second. Whenever it is poured into this vessel, this Fe+3 ions will get reacted with potassium ferrocyanide indicator and it will form a blue color substance. A blue color substance. Now, when we consider in this second vessel, Fe+3 ions do not react with potassium ferrocyanide as there is no reaction. So, it is colorless. It is external indicators. Now, fourth one is potentiometric. First one is internal, second one is self, third one is external, fourth one is potentiometric. It is a physico-chemical method which is used as it is a physico-chemical method used as indicator. These potentiometric indicators are used when the internal indicators, self indicators or external indicators are not available or not suitable for any of the reactions. In that case, the potentiometric conductors are used. This is about the indicators. Let us discuss a theory. Theory of redox titrations. Here the theory means it explains about electrochemical cell. Electrochemical cell is a cell which produces the electrical energy. Which produces the electrical energy from mechanical energy, from chemical energy. Electrochemical cell is a device which produces the electrical energy from the chemical energy. That is, chemical energy will get converted into electrical energy. And this electrochemical cell is made up of two half cells. It is made up of two half cells, and these two half cells are interlinked by salt bridge. It is interlinked by soft bridge. Now, these two half cells are half cells. What are half cells? Let us discuss about half cells. Half cells are nothing but these are the electrodes. Half cells are the electrodes. Now, the electrodes are of two types. First one is indicator electrode. And second one is reference electrode. First one is indicator electrode, second one is reference electrode. Let us discuss about these two types of electrodes. Reference electrode is standard electrode. And this indicator electrode is not a standard electrode. And it contains known electrode potential and it is unsensitive to the analyte. It is unsensitive to the analyte, whereas it is sensitive to the analyte. Half shells are electrodes. These electrodes are two types. One is indicator electrode and second one is reference electrode. Reference electrode is standard electrode and it contains known electrode potential and it is unsensitive to the analyte. Whereas indicator electrode is not a standard electrode and it is sensitive to the analyte. Now, our next topic is types of redox titrations. Types of redox titrations. There are 9 types of total. There are 9 types. There are 9 types of redox titrations are present. First one is serimetry. Second one is iodometry. And okay, right here. First one is serimetry. Second one is iodometry. And third one is iodometry. And fourth one is iodometry and fourth one is bromatometry and fifth one is iodatometry and sixth one is dichromatometry and seventh one is permanganometry. Eighth one is nitrate titration and ninth one is titanium fluoride titration. First one is serimetry, second one is iodometry, third one is iodometry, fourth one is bromatometry, fifth one is iodometry and sixth one is dichromatometry and seventh one is permanganatometry and eighth one is nitrate titration and ninth one is titanium chloride titration. In serimetry, the titrant is cesium fluoride. Titrant is cesium fluoride. Let us take a reaction. Fe plus 2 will react with cesium plus 4 will form Fe plus 3 plus cesium plus 4. Now, the analytes which are used in this serimetry are iron, copper, nickel, etc. This is about serimetry. Now, Iodimetry. In iodimetry, the titrant is iodine. Iodine means the direct iodine is used in this solution, and let us consider reaction Sn plus 2 gives rise, Sn plus 2 plus I2 gives rise to Sn plus 4 plus 2 moles of iodine. Now the analyte which is used is arsenic plus 3 and tin Sn plus 2. This is about iodimetry. Now in iodometry we use sodium thiosulfate, and the analyte is copper sulfate. In iodometry we use titrant is sodium thiosulfate and the analyte is copper sulfate. In bromatometry, the titrant is potassium bromate and the analyte is arsenic and Sb. And when we consider the iodatometry, the titrant is KiO3. It is similar to bromatometry. In bromatometry we use KbRO3. In iodatometry we use KiO3. Now the analyte is ascorbic acid and arsenic. It is about iodatometry. Now in dichromatometry, the titrant is K2Cr2O7 and the analyte is iron 3 salt. In dichromatometry, the titrant is K2Cr2O7 and the analyte is iron 3 salt. In permanganometry, titrant is KmNO4 and analyte is hydrogen peroxide and NO2 minus. And in nitrate titration, the titrant is sodium nitrate. And coming to the titanium chloride titration, titrant is titanium chloride TiCl3 and the analyte is iron 3 salt. These are the 9 types of redox titrations. First one is serimetry, second one is iodimetry, and third one is iodatometry, and fourth one is bromatometry, fifth one is iodatometry, and sixth one is dichromatometry, and seventh one is permanganatometry, eighth one is nitrate titration, and ninth one is titanium chloride solution.